Brother Brad thought he was in store for another wacky pastor's appreciation. Okay. I know in the past, we've had a Green Acres kitchen up here. We've had hunters and tree stands waiting on the perfect shot. We've had a pool pit built out of concrete blocks sitting right here. We've had flowers and porta potties. We've had a lake with fish and boats in the sanctuary. We've even had people walking around carrying guns. I hope you are not very disappointed this year, but we decided to do things a little bit different. Okay, no rearranging the pews because you decided to bolt them down. No VeggieTales, no special dress code, not even a theme. But we did bring you in this comfy seat. We stole it from the back, just for you. So if you could take your place right here in your special seat, all by your lonesome,
It
you
wasn't
can get
bolted
started.
down.
Okay, we're here today to honor a special man. A man who left behind a family and a new home in Alturas to come to the big city of Mayaca. A man who is not afraid of a chicken, for he knows how to barbecue it. Brother Brad Wayne Stidham, this is your life.
This is Your Life, the program for all America, brought to you by Gentle Joy, the dishwashing liquid that gentles your hands. The liquid that's made to be mild 3 times a day. And Liquid Prel, the shampoo that's extra rich to drench your hair in luxury.
All right, we're going to take you back to the beginning, way back. You may not even remember this day, but we are taking you all the way back to May 24th, 1974.
In the beginning, May the 24th, 1974, at 7:29 a.m., 7 pounds, 15 ounces, a baby boy. A new mommy and very happy. You was always a good baby, slept well most of the time, always ate good. Thank you for all the good and fun memories. Wish I had a video camera back then.
When I first saw you, you was my joy. I could not wait to get home from work to see you. You went with me everywhere I went. When you got old enough, hunting, fishing, even to work in the summer when you weren't in school. After you got older, you became married. We became partners in business and worked alongside each other and lived next door to one another until God called you to Mayaca City. I'm blessed to have you as my son. I'm so proud of you and what you have done and become. A pastor who loves his family, his church, his people, his missions work, and most of all, God.
Some you may not remember, like sleeping in a tent so cold. We had to wear our clothes, our coats, our socks, our shoes, our toboggans, and our gloves, zipped up in a sleeping bag and piled blankets on top to stay warm. Or like the time you and Bobby would ride through the woods on back of the truck, singing just good old boys, remembering the good and fun times. When we get together now to hunt, I really enjoy it. It's loud sometimes, but I love it. I thank God He chose me to be your mama through the bad times, which has been very few, praise the Lord, and a whole lot of good times. I thank you for helping me by being a good son, loving, caring, and fun, telling me about the toe you found at midnight. If you want to know how much I love you, think of how much you love your family. Teresa, Madison, Justin, Kristen, Caden, and Braylon. Then you will know. Thank you for making good decisions in your life. Your wife. I couldn't have picked better for you.
I'm very proud of what you've given me to the best in this world. A daughter-in-law, a grandson, a granddaughter, granddaughter-in-law, great-grandbabies. Love them all more than they know. I love you, my son, your dad.
Teresa, you're the daughter we never had. We love you more. And I thank you for all you do, helping Brad as a pastor's wife and ministering to your church. You are always there, working tirelessly. I am very proud mother today about both of you and your family loving and serving the Lord and doing what He has called y'all to do. I will love you both forever and ever. Maddie, I love you forever and ever. My partner, you are a ray of sunshine to this old man's life. I am proud of you. Stay in Jesus and stay filled with the Holy Ghost. Make good decisions about your life. The Lord will help you if you want Him to. Choose wisely and prayerfully. Do your life. You will have to live with what you choose. And life goes by too quick to mess around with your own soul. Love and prayers, Mama, Nana.
On February 15th, 1987, you went to the Bethel Church of God. You went to the altar with your mother and gave your life to God. That was a special day in your life. But I'm sure you didn't just jump into this new relationship with God, knowing exactly what to do.
Hey Brad, this is Pastor Larry Barentine. I'm very proud of the fact that you are in the ministry and that you have been continuing a work that God has given to you all these years. I am blessed that I had a very small part in that ministry of your life, and you and Teresa have been a blessing to me and Sister Darlene for a very long time now. I was asked about giving some kind of anecdote about your life back when you were in our youth group there at Bethel Church of God, and I kept thinking Brad was the best one that I had, probably. You were the least trouble out of all the kids that we had, so there wasn't a lot that I could have said about you and Teresa, because you were both the best. And I want to thank God for that. Many of them have turned out really well, and we're very thankful for that. The gifts that God has given to us in the children that we've been able to minister to, and then to see how God has used you in this ministry has done nothing but bless my heart all these years. And I want to tell you how much that matters to me as a minister in the ministry to God. And to the Mayaca Church of God, we're encouraging you to honor Him today, and I know that you will, because you, like our church at New Beginning Church of God here in Fort Meade, is a very loving church and a caring church, and that matters to the pastor, and it matters to the fact that he has given himself to you in ministry. So bless him today and honor him, and you will have fulfilled God's call in your lives to do that. And so we thank you for all that you've already done and what you're going to do in the future for him. He is a blessing to us and to his family, and we pray that God would just bless you mightily in the ministry to Jesus Christ our Lord. So please be blessed today, and may God keep you in all that he does, is our deepest prayer. God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right, you spent 11 and a half years at Bethel. I'm sure you met a lot of people and developed some friendships. Let's hear about one of them.
Hey Brad, I have a face for radio, but here's a video anyways. I've always enjoyed having you as a friend. I remember having church fellowships at your house, riding airboats, bonfires, riding four-wheelers, and just having a really good time. You've invited me hunting, and we've had a great time, ate a lot of food together, and just thankful for the friends you've been to me. I know I can always trust you. You help me in business. I just wish you a happy Pastor's Appreciation Day. Thanks for all you do. Bye.
Sounds like you and Brian are still pretty close friends. But he probably wasn't the only one you met there, was he?
Good morning. I recall a time in Pastor Brad's life whenever, not sure what the look was that he was looking for, but he wanted a lighter blonde hair. Not sure if he was looking for the Ric Flair look or if he was already had his eye on Sister Teresa. But I recall us being on a job site around the year of 1986, 1987, and he just thought somewhere he found out where lemon juice would make his hair a lighter blonde. He began to apply quite a bit of that lemon juice on his hair, and I don't recall if it worked or if it didn't work, but it was one of those funny moments as we were growing up. But I thank you for allowing us to be a part of this Pastor Appreciation Day. Pastor Brad and Sister Teresa, I wish you all the best and hope you have a fantastic day. God bless you all.
Did it work? It did. So a little bit. All right, we're going to jump forward to 1988.
Brother Brad and I met back in junior high school. I lived down the road from him and we rode the bus together. And so Brother Brad was the first one on the school bus, and then the bus driver came down to my road and picked me up. So it was only the two of us that was on there. And so I would say my first impression of him was he's very witty, very crazy. Very first time I stepped up on the bus, he's like, hey, you can sit with me. I'm like, nah, that's okay, I'll sit behind you. So he turns around and talks to me near about the whole time all the way to school. And so that afternoon when we get on the bus, he's like, hey, you can sit with me. And I'm like, that's okay, I'll sit behind you. So there again, all the way home, he turned around talking, asking questions. And we got to become friends, I guess, that year. And so a couple of days later, I did take him up on sitting in the seat with him, and we became best friends. Now, I didn't like boys. I thought they were jerks. I like to fight boys better than girls, because boys could fight and girls were sissies. Our friendship turned into best friends. I never had a best friend as a guy before, so I knew what we had was special. So as the year went along, I would see other people, I would see guys, and they would come walk me to my classes. Well, Brother Brad also showed up with my so-called boyfriend that was supposed to have been my boyfriend. Brother Brad showed up and walked me to my classes, toted my books, most of the time put his arm around me, and we talked all the way to class while the other guy's just standing there. And he was just like he is now, just a fun, loving, outgoing kind of guy. And most everybody at school liked him. And so that summer, when school got out, we were on our ride home on the bus, of course, and he was always asking me, hey, you want to go out? Hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? And I'm like, nah, it's okay. First of all, my parents wouldn't have allowed me to do that. Dad wasn't real keen on boys. Dad protected me from most that he could. All except this one. This one, my dad fell in love with him the first time that he met him. But anyhow, back to the story. We were on our bus ride home, and I was to get off pretty quick, and I told him, I said, hey, call me sometime this summer and let's do something. He sat up in the seat and he said, really? Are you for real? And I'm like, sure, just call me. I really was thinking he wouldn't call. He would forget, blah, blah, blah. Well, he didn't. He actually called me and asked me if I wanted to go with him and his church youth group bowling. And I was like, I don't know. My parents probably won't let me do that. He said, why wouldn't they? It's with the church. And I'm like, well, my mom and dad doesn't know your mom and dad. And he said, oh, well, my mom and dad can come down and meet your mom and dad, and then we can go together. And I'm like, I don't know. Let me ask and see. I was trying to really put him off because I was scared that my dad was going to kill him, actually. And so I didn't know how my dad was going to react. I knew my mama would probably be like, no, you're too young. You're not going nowhere without me and your dad. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me ask. My dad's working night shift. And I said, but let me ask and then I'll call you back. Well, I kind of didn't ask. And so he called me back. He said, did you ask? Because it's coming up on Friday night. And I'm like, no, I haven't asked yet. He said, please, my mom and dad can come down tonight. And I'm like, oh no, now what do I do? So actually, I asked my mom, and I said, Mom, this guy that lives down the road wants to come down and bring his parents because he wants me to go with him and his church and youth group to the bowling alley on Friday night and bowl. And she's like, oh, you know how we feel about that. No. I said, please, Mom, just meet his parents. And then, she said, well, your dad's not home. I'm like, oh, I know, it's okay. So anyhow, I called him back. His mom and dad comes down, and his dad is in flip-flops. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And so when they come in, I found out that Brad gets his personality from his dad. So they came in, talked to my mom like they had known her forever. And so they got to talking about church, and I'm thinking, okay, when are they, going to talk about the outing that we're fixing to do? And so they finally get around to that right before they leave. And so my mom's like, well, I don't see a problem with it. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? My mama just said she don't really have a problem with it? Oh my goodness. And she said, well, I will get with her dad tonight when he comes in, and then I'll let her know tomorrow in the morning, and she can let Brad know, and then if it's okay with him, then they can go Friday night. So needless to say, my mom must have done some heavily sweet talking to my dad, because dad agreed to it. And so Friday night they show up to pick me up for this youth night bowling, and we get in the car, and he introduces me to his mom and dad. I didn't know it, but he had told his mom and dad that we were dating. I was his girlfriend. Here I am going as a friend, supposed to be his best friend, and he's already told everybody from the church that's going bowling that I'm his woman. And so we get up to the bowling alley, and a couple of the guys that wasn't at church on Wednesday night was like, hey, who is this? And he's like, this is my girlfriend. And he puts his arm around me, and I'm like, what? You just lied. You just told him a lie. And he's like, shh, you are my girlfriend. And so everybody there thought, and I didn't say any different, that I was his girlfriend. And then that night when he took me home, I said, but you told them I was your girlfriend. I didn't come as your girlfriend. And he said, no, but I want you to be my girlfriend. I'm like, no, I don't want to be your girlfriend. He's like, why? I said, I just don't want to be your girlfriend. So he kept calling me for a little while, talking on the phone. And every single time that he talked to me, he would ask me to be his girlfriend. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be your girlfriend. I don't like you that way. We're best friends. And when people see each other and they start being boyfriend and girlfriend, and they get mad and they break up with one another, they hate one another. And I said, you know what we have is different than most people. And I said, it's special. And I don't want something to happen between us and then we break up and we hate one another. So he's like, I don't understand. He said, but I love you. And I said, I love you as my friend, but I don't love you in that kind of a way. So his Granny B's birthday was coming up June the 19th. And he called me and he said, hey, he said, me and my granny is going to the mall for her birthday and kind of mess around in town. Do you want to go with us? And I said, well, let me ask Mama and I'll see. Well, even at this point, he's never met my dad. So I think he really thought that I really didn't have a dad. And we were kind of making this dad thing up or whatever, because he never seen him. And so I'm like, well, let me ask my dad. And he's like, okay, well, let me know, because we're going tomorrow when she gets off work. And so Dad come in that night, and I asked him, and he said, yeah, that's fine. I want you back home at such and such or whatever. And you're not going by yourself, right? So y'all won't be by yourself. And I'm like, no. Because at this time, he's 14, I'm 15. My dad still didn't like the fact that it was still with a boy. But we went that evening when his granny come in from work, and we went to the mall, and when he went to bring me home that day, he asked me, would I be his girlfriend? And I told him yes. Because at that point of June the 19th of 1989, I fell in love with Brad Stidham. We dated for 3 years, and I knew that I would one day marry him. We've been together, this year will be 28 years, and it's been an amazing, he's treated me as a queen, just treated me beyond my wildest imagination, and he is still my best friend.
Did you ever get the feeling she's trying to brush you off? Many times. I understand that she probably wasn't the only lady that you met around that time. Probably not.
All right, Brother Brad, this is your other grandma, or mama, whichever one you claim it as. Please don't start falling off the bed like your Papa Burbaum. Have a good day. Love you, buddy.
This anything you care to share with us? She doesn't want you to fall off the bed. No. Okay. You and Sister Teresa were married on August 31st, 1991, and on April 4th of 1994, a baby boy was born. Justin Wayne Stidham came into your life and changed your world. Unfortunately, Justin has laryngitis, so he wasn't able to talk. But we had somebody, he wrote a letter, and we had Noah read this for you. So this is Justin's letter.
I like to say I love my daddy. He has been a great man in my life. He has been a man that I've looked up to and someone that I would love to be just like. I miss getting to hog hunt with him and checking traps. I remember the first time that we went together. We were at Mr. Bob's behind the church. There was a hog in the field, so we dropped the dogs. The hog went straight to the swamp. Well, we went running there and I heard a thud and someone stumbling around behind me. I turned and shined my light and Daddy had run into a tree. Let's just say he had a goose egg. If I ain't mistaken, that was the night he had brand new shoes on that Mom had just bought him. That was a night I won't ever forget, and I don't think he will either. My daddy has always been strong in the Lord. I remember there was a time that we were struggling to make ends meet and had a very important bill due. And I remember Mom asking Daddy, what do we do, pay our tithes or pay the bill? Daddy said pay our tithes. He had always been faithful at paying tithes. Well, they paid the tithes and the Lord blessed them. The next day, Mom went to the mailbox and there was a check from the insurance company saying they had paid too much and wanted to reimburse them their money back. Well, it was the same amount of money that they needed for the bill. I thank God that I have good, godly Christian parents. I love them so very much. Happy Pastor's Appreciation.
Then, in 1995, your world was again changed forever. God called you into the ministry. Many changes have taken place in your young life, but this one carried with it the most responsibility. Even more than your beautiful bride, even more than a little boy prays. You learned to depend on your Heavenly Father, trusting Him to meet your needs, and He became your best friend. I'm not sure if you would call it your theme song, but ever since I remember meeting you, you had a special song. You remember what that song was? You don't remember? Okay. Well, we will find out because it's fitting. We're going to put two things together here. In 1996, you made another move. You remember where that move was? You're scared to answer. Go ahead and play.
Oh, my friend is
Bowling Green.
That's what I told her. She said no, she confused me.
It was in Bowling Green. Okay. During this time, you preached everywhere you were given the opportunity, sometimes taking you to remote locations and meeting some very strange characters.
Today I want to go down memory lane, some of the things that I remember about our friendship with Brother Stidham. I remember back in the late 90s, we met at the Bethel Church of God, and then in January of 98, I began to work for him and his family when they owned the Porta-John business. And we had a lot of laughs during those times. We'd have fellowship, build grills, just a lot of church good times. And from that, a friendship has been developed. We were pastoring the Bastion Church of God several years ago, and we had a great need and ran into the Stidhams at a local store in Lake Wells, and they poured out of their heart and blessed the church and helped with that need. And I've been knowing them a long time, and they've been faithful to the call of God, the ministry. They give people into people and gave to the church for many years. And for that, I'm grateful for this friendship that we have, and I pray that you have a blessed Pastor Appreciation Day.
Well, that was also the time that we met. If I'm not mistaken, it was probably 1999. If my memory serves me right, we were trying to piece this together. And no, we never did get any better. We were still strange. But regardless of our peculiarities, we did become friends. And I still value that friendship very much. But wait, okay, there's others that you met along the street while you were out visiting.
In the year 2000, we didn't have a pastor, and you came and preached for us quite a few times. That was when we formed a bond with you and your family, and before you even realized that one day you would become our pastors.
Baby, forever needing attention. Okay, babysitter on duty. Hey, not all babies get diapers this soft.
They should, because the softer the diaper, the safer your baby's skin. That's why this baby's mother always washes diapers in the safest possible soap, Wonderful Ivory Snow. Ivory Snow washes diapers softer, far softer than detergents can, and so safe, completely free from irritating deposits that can chafe.
Wouldn't mind having a cutie like you someday.
When you do, remember Ivory Snow for diapers, because the softer the diaper, the safer your baby's skin. Wonderful Ivory Snow, only soap both ivory, gentle, and granulated for washers. No wonder so many baby doctors recommend Ivory Snow.
Well, I've known Brother Brad for quite a few years. I have to say, an awesome pastor. He's been there for us in the good times, the happy times, through weddings, but he's also been there for us through the sad times and losing our loved ones. He's been a great support. Someone that I could count on for prayer. Someone that if I called at no matter the hour, I know he would come. A lot of times we'd have to say, no, you rest, because he wants to be there. His heart's there. I appreciate Brother Brad and his ministry. I appreciate for what he does for us as a church. I thank God for them. I thank God that they have the love they have for the church. Okay. Brother Brad's also been there through, as a support, you know, with a lot of the issues that Faith had with car accidents, which is many, and births, and, you know, seizures, and just an awesome support. I couldn't ask for a better pastor and someone to count on during the rough times, but also someone that we really could celebrate the happy times with just as well.
One thing that I've heard over and over again from people is that you make quite an impression on them. Let's hear about another impression, please.
I remember the time that Brother Brad fell on me. We were doing a puppet. We were actually practicing for a puppet skit over up there in, was it Green Cove, or
I think so.
I think it was Green Cove, and we were practicing, and in the middle of the right there at the end, you know, there's a big finale, and everybody goes to do the big finish, and all of a sudden he comes tumbling down right on top of me, and it just proves that God's a miracle working God because I survived.
right, I got another question, okay? This is a $100 question. Do you have a favorite food? We're gonna hear about his favorite food, okay? You let him think about it.
I've known Brother Brad since I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, so it's like 20 years. And I've had pastors in the past, but as a child you don't really realize what a pastor truly is. He's been my pastor since I was 17 and has been there for me through my downfalls and through my strongest points. He's always been someone that I could come to talk to whenever I needed encouragement. If my kids were sick, he is always checking on them to make sure they're okay. One of my most favorite memories are of him dedicating all 3 of my children to the Lord. I know that it makes him smile to dedicate the babies in the church. Something that probably won't change is that the fact every time I eat Chinese, I think of Brother Brad. The man loves to go to hibachi, and I can't blame him. One memory, and still will probably go on forever, is the funny memes we come across about exercising and losing weight. We can send each other a meme and no feelings are hurt, but that's just the person he is. He has a sense of humor. One of the other favorite memories is when we went to Monster Jam. You would have had to been there. We left Monster Jam and he decided he was going to play Hit the Possum. Then we went to 2 different fast food places and around the drive-thru 3 times at one place and still ended up with no food at 11:30 at night. He almost stopped at Taco Bell, but then they were closed, and I think Sister Teresa said they were going to go home and have a bologna sandwich. But most of all, I'm truly thankful for the person he is, and that he is my pastor. Thank you for all you do, and we love you.
So, it's safe to say food's pretty important in your life. Yes, okay. Well, you know, in Bowling Green, Wauchula area, there's really not a lot of places to eat. But I do understand that you were caught at Pizza Hut at least once. At least once, okay.
We first met in 2005 at the Bowling Green Church of God. After service, a group of church folks went to the Pizza Hut there in Wauchula. We next met in 2009 as we joined the Mayaca City Church of God. You were there for all 3 of my sons' birth. You were even there during one surgery of one of my sons, in which he peed on you afterwards. I appreciate all you've done for my family, and thank you for your dedication and your prayers.
The year is now 2006. You have a nice home, a good job, and you're getting to preach. Life is good, but your family's incomplete. Then along comes
when Mom found out that she had both of the tumors, and I know she was heartbroken or whatever, but Dad, he was there for her, I guess, and even though she was broke, he's been there for her when she felt like the world was against her. And I know it broke his heart too, but he put on a strong face. I mean, we all did. Told her that everything was going to be alright, and that he knew it because they had faith. I guess it's the really inspiring time that I remember him.
I'm sure you can hear the admiration in her voice. And we know that life is not always easy. There's been struggles along the way. But as for your family, you now have a beautiful wife, a handsome son, a long-haired little girl, and still find time and energy to play a role in the lives of some of your young, impressionable lives.
Hi, Brother Brad. I don't remember how long ago I met you. It's been forever. I remember one time that you took me hog hunting with you one night, and we checked the traps, and there was a hog in one of them, and I remember every time that hog would hit the cage, I would be so scared. I would jump back. I wouldn't want to go near the cage, but then you induced me to go near it and said it won't hurt you, it's in the cage, and I finally got the strength and I actually went up to the cage. I actually was little braver after that. I just want to say happy Pastor's Appreciation. I love you, and I appreciate for you putting up with me. Thanks.
I got another question for you. This one is rather important because this is something I did not know about you about 10 years ago. Okay, well, I think I can play it safe there. Were you ever a car salesman?
Not that I know of.
Okay, well, let's find out.
Brother Brad, you may not realize who this is, but you sold me my first car. It was red and yellow, and you sold it to me for a penny, and I still have the receipt for the car. I never did get a license plate for it, but I still own the car. I want to let you know that I love you and I thank you for all that you've done in my many years I've known you.
Okay, so you might have a bit of a trouble with the car salesman here. All right, the year is now 2008. You've preached in many churches, but God now says it's time for you to settle down. So He opens the door of Mayaca City. I want to know, what was your first impression?
It's gotta go.
It's gotta go.
We voted for Brother Brad, but I really had just heard him preach that one time. That's all we heard.
Amen.
And I had told my husband about him, and we were out here one day, and he had been nominated in as our pastor. And my husband said, well, he says, how long are you going to be here now? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months? How long are you going to be here? He said, I'd like to know if you're going to be here long enough to do anything, or if you're just going to take off in the middle of the night like we've had one pastor to do in the middle of the night. Left. And he said, well, he says, I'll tell you, Ralph, he says, I'm going to be here as long as the Lord wants me. And I'll tell you, he's been here for, this will be the 11th year, I believe it is. And I tell you, I believe he's in the Lord's will. I love him. I don't believe we could have asked the Lord for a better preacher.
Amen.
He preaches the word. He helps and prays for everybody. I know he does. And I just love him.
I remember when me and Brother Brad was looking for an egg, and he was sitting with a few other people, and he helped me find a golden egg. I got money, and I got a boiled egg.
All right, thank you.
In 2011, you preached a message on heaven and hell, and I wanted to make sure I got to go to heaven. So I asked my mom, what did I need to do to make sure that I went to heaven? She told me to ask Jesus to come into my heart and forgive me of my sins. So that's what I did that morning under your ministry in that message. That'll probably be the greatest memory I'll have.
All right, I've heard a saying, where there's food, there's preachers. You ever heard that saying? Even when they have to cook it.
We was in Arcady Church of God, and we had the privilege of meeting Brother Brad. He done a few barbecue for the Arcady Church, and then when we decided that it's time to move on, the Lord laid it in our heart to come to Mayaca, and we've been out here a little over 4 years now, and we love and appreciate the people. We love the church pastor and his wife and family, and we just deeply care a lot for the people, and we do anything in the world we can to help them. Amen.
All right, now on a deeper note here, most of what I found when I was investigating you was not terrible, but I did get a little bit of disturbing news. Okay? It was a little troubling to me. I heard that at least once during youth camp that you were dealing with the boys with a little bit of undue force. I was innocent.
Hey, Brother Brad.
I just wanted to take a minute and let you know how much I appreciate you as a friend and as a mentor. They asked me a question about just a moment in my life about how I have been impacted by you. And the very first thing that I thought of when I thought of impacted by you is the time that I tried to wrestle with you. And I was impacted. And I can remember going back to where I was stuck between you, the floor, and 2 mattresses, and was forever impacted by you. Forever. I think that was the last time that I've ever wrestled in my life. And so you've made an impact on me. But no, in all seriousness, I love you. I appreciate you. I know your entire family is special to me. Y'all all taken me in kind of as one of your own. Madison's always having to give up her room to me, and Sister Teresa's always having to cook for me, and then you're always having to put up with me and Brother Driston during revival. But I do thank you. You're the very first church that I got to preach a Sunday morning and a Sunday night service at. Very first church that I ever preached revival for. And so y'all always hold a special place in my heart. You know, when not everybody was willing to take a chance on me, you took a chance on me. And so anything that I do for the Lord, you have your handprints on that. And I'm just thankful for you. I love you. I pray that you just press on and know that if you haven't impacted anybody else, then you've impacted me.
Okay, so maybe he deserved it, okay? I'm going to let you listen to this other guy because he likes chicken too. I mean, that's all that matters. He likes chicken too.
Good morning, Brother Brad, Sister Teresa, in Mayaki City. Happy Pastor Appreciation Day. So, here's a little bit about letting you guess who this is. We met in 2012, and since then we have been like family. So, now you may be trying to put the year together and to try to see who it is. There's one clue I could give you at the moment that would give it all away, but first I'm going to say something. Now, there was a time that you and your family stepped in, and it was a tragic for us. One morning, I gave you a call, was able to talk to you on the phone. I wept, I cried, I prayed with you, you prayed with me, you called us over the next couple of days, dark time. You never know how much that meant to us and our family. So you're probably still trying to think of who it is. Here's another clue. My child busted his ear on your door. So you and Sister Teresa has also been very mission-minded. I've always been willing to go the extra mile, whether it was Guatemala, here in the States, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. I could go on and on. I've always been very mission-minded, and God will honor that. Here's another clue. Brother Brad and I, we ate a whole box of chicken wings riding back from his house to his house one day. A whole box. All right, so years to come, we've laughed together, we've cried together, we've seen God's hand moved in so many ways. It's astonished us all. We've shouted together, and most of all, God's put us together in a family. So here's the last clue. Here's the dead giveaway. You're the only man, Brother Brad Stedham, that I have gotten a baby crib with, wore a diaper, and had a fight over a donut. Yes. Now you know who it is. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Words can never explain what y'all mean to us. We wish we could be there with you all on this Pastor Appreciation Day. But we do love y'all, and God bless y'all.
Hey, Brother Brad.
Hey.
We just want to let you know that we love you and we appreciate you and hope that you have a great Pastor Appreciation Day. Thank you so much for all the confidence that you put in us and having us, and Brother Ben, for those youth revivals. We've enjoyed them so much, and we hope that you continue to have a great Pastor Appreciation Day and hope that your year is filled with all the appreciation that your church can give you. We love you, brother.
All right, I'm going to give you a clue up front as to this next couple, okay? Does the words Baptist, Pentecostal, and Baptist-costal mean anything to you? All right, let's see who it is.
I'm John Barnhill. This is my wife, Sharon.
I am raised Baptist, so I'm pretty much Baptist-costal. My wife is raised Pentecostal. First time I ever met Brother Brad, I knew that he was a man of God, and this was the church I needed to be in. He preaches the Word, nothing but the Word. And we think the world of Pastor Brad and Majesty City Church of God. And I thank God every day that we found y'all.
It's a true blessing to be a part of such a God-filled church.
We are lucky to be there.
All right, next, we have four children that you have an influence on. You have impacted their lives, shall we say.
I remember when I went to Monster Jam.
When you went to Monster Jam, did you have fun at Monster Jam? Tell me about it.
They did backflips and did front flips. That's what happened.
That's what happened. Okay.
I remember when we were shelling peas and Sister Teresa had to clean them up.
All right, we are drawing near to the end of our show today. But one last thing I wanted to include to you was that 2016 was another life-changing year. It was the year that you and Sister Teresa gained a new title. As this show comes to a close, I want you to sit back and enjoy these precious babies sing.
I know for the